Hey, what's going on everyone? Jacob here. Now at the end of last week's video I said I wanted a bounty hunter game and said I'd talk about Bethesda. In case you didn't know, this was in reference to Prey 2, which was shut down by Bethesda due to internal politics. It makes me upset knowing that we'll never get the game, at least the game in its original state, because the game was reworked into 2016's Prey developed by Arcane Studios. Anyways, moving on. 2021 is looking to be a powerhouse year for Bethesda. They have Doom, The Ancient Gods, which released earlier. Oh wait, that might have released last year. Anyways, Bethesda has coming out of the pipeline Ghostwire Tokyo, Deathloop, and of course, the much fabled Starfield. Now, this game has been in the works for a long time, it seems, and is Bethesda's first big IP in a while, and will be Bethesda Games Studios' first game since Fallout 76. Fallout 76 seemed to be a games-as-a-service model. Prior to the Microsoft acquisition, they'd been going through some financial troubles, and it seemed like Fallout 76 was their answer to that. Turned out to be the wrong answer, as the game was a horrible nightmare when it was first relaunched. But now, after the Microsoft acquisition that caught us all off guard, they are now friends with the people who made, arguably, the best Fallout game. Generally speaking, though, I feel that the Fallout games are all generally of the same quality except Fallout 76, which did blow. I'm going to talk about what I'd like to see going forward from Bethesda. This isn't a list, but, whatever. The number one improvement I'd like to see, and which sounds like it's actually happening, is an overhaul of the creation engine or making a new game engine. It sounds like, according to Todd Howard, that they are completely redoing the creation engine for Starfield. The creation engine has been used since Skyrim, after the game BRO engine was retired, and they traded it in favor of the creation engine. I'm not going to hide the fact, I'm going to say it early on, I'm not a huge fan of Bethesda. If anything, I'm completely indifferent. I've tried Skyrim, I've tried Oblivion, I've tried Fallout 76, and Fallout Shelter. I refuse to buy Fallout 3, however, as if Fallout New Vegas is supposed to be the best game in the franchise, I don't want to spend my time on a game that's not as good and is visually on par with it. Another thing I'd like to see done going forward with Bethesda games is I'd like there to be a little bit more color in the games. Like, the game's color palettes, generally speaking, are pretty muted. And I know visuals don't make the game. Visually speaking, I'm probably going to play a game that grabs my interest more. There's a reason I like playing colorful games, and I'm not a huge fan of just the gray shooters like the older Call of Duty games. Skyrim is the game that I've gone the furthest in, and I think it is in part due to my friends and myself talking as we go through the game. I never really jumped at the opportunity to play the game by myself because it's just not something that grabs my interest. Part of it, I think, is I felt a little burnt when I started playing the game because it was supposed to be this god-tier game, and I just thought it was fine. It was a little bit too hyped up. It was hyped up to be this god-tier game, and it was fine. It was better than average, but not a 10 for me. I guess this is technically number 3 on the list. We don't need any more microtransactions from Bethesda. I don't want to see another Fallout 76 thing happen. They have Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76, and those are the two games-as-a-service games they have. But when I think microtransactions, I also think horse armor. We don't need something like that again. I'm fine with DLC, but I don't want to see something like horse armor again because that was pretty bad and that was pretty embarrassing. DLC, I'm fine with that. You can charge me for DLC. When I get around to it, I'll play the hell out of Ancient Gods Part 1, and I can't wait for Part 2 because I love Doom Eternal. But if they lock the BFG behind a paywall, I'm going to lose my mind. Also, now that they're owned by Microsoft, which is a huge juggernaut of a company, I think it's fair that we shouldn't expect microtransactions from them going forwards. Number 4 on my list. Take your time with games. I don't want to see a whole lot of bugs in this game. Small bugs I don't care about. Game-breaking bugs I care about. I don't want my speed in the game to be based on which direction I'm looking, because that would be really stupid, and I think they're above that. The game needs to be released in a finished state, and it is not acceptable for it to be released like Fallout 76. The game needs to be released in a finished state, and it is not acceptable for it to be a mess like Fallout 76. And if it does release like Fallout 76, I am going to be very concerned about the Bethesda Games going forwards. Number 5 on my list is make the gameplay fun. Please make the shooting better. I'm assuming since we're going to be in space, there's going to be some space guns and shooting. And I'd just love it if the guns actually worked and were fun. And it didn't feel like it did in Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 76, where it felt like a constant struggle for me to do simple shots in the game, and it felt very unfair. I just improve the gunplay a little bit. The melee combat has been fun. I don't feel like the melee combat would be a huge focus in Starfield, but it's impossible to know until we know. Overall, I think Bethesda has a huge chance to win me over with the release of Starfield. If the game is good, I am so excited because I have Game Pass, and since it's owned by Microsoft, I think it's going to go up on Game Pass, and I really want to see it. I really want to see this game succeed. I really want to be a Bethesda fan, because now I feel like would be a great time to join a Bethesda community when they're going to be able to spend time on games. And it does make me look forward to games like The Elder Scrolls 6, where previously I wouldn't have cared about them. Now I am looking forward to it because I want to see how it goes and how strong the entries will be, because I know they can take their time because they're owned by Microsoft now. Please make this game good. Anyways, until next time, it's been fun, and I'll see you next time. Build it, 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 build it. Build it, 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 build it.